Okay, here's a quick update about the perfect motorhome, and you may learn from this if you want to buy a motorhome. That's why I'm making these videos, because it will be helpful for me to see such videos if I want to buy a motorhome and have this kind of lifestyle, you know, living in a motorhome. Because it's one thing to buy a motorhome for going here and there in the weekends and you have a home. It's another thing to buy a motorhome in which you want to live for like full time and for many years. We thought we found the perfect motorhome. After I searched for months and months and months, we contacted so many people, we saw several motorhomes. We thought this one is the perfect one because despite being some kind of old, we trusted the owners because they seem like very nice people, and we saw the motorhome. It looked quite nice, everything looked fine. Yes, they had water infiltration, but they said that they fixed it. So we thought that's it. I even bought this Blue 80 power system, and you know, to be ready to put the solar panels and to work on the motorhome. I was ready to buy the solar panels and everything. However, we said let's send the motorhome for a technical inspection. We were kind of sure that it's going to be fine, but well, it's good to send the motorhome for a technical inspection. We paid 76 euros, and I think you must be insane not to do this if you want to buy a motorhome. Because here's the thing, now we are not going to buy this motorhome. It's far from perfect. It took us like 2 weeks to arrange for this kind of mechanical inspection here in Spain, because it's Spain and everything is so fucking slow. Despite the mechanical shop being exactly across the street from where the motorhome is, it took us 2 weeks to arrange for a 1 hour inspection. But anyway, that was a great thing, because the mechanic found many problems, and they are divided in 2 categories. And that's quite important to understand if you buy a motorhome, because a motorhome is a car and then a home. This one had problems with both of them. First of all, the car, you know, we had to replace the filters, the radiator, probably suspensions. It had signs of rust in many places. The battery was fucked up, we had to replace that. The tires were from 2015, we had to eventually replace that. The distribution belt, despite the owners saying that they replaced it, the mechanic said that probably needs to be replaced, and that alone it's 700 euros. And overall, looking at the engine and the dust inside and all of that, he said very likely this motorhome was not used much, so it was parked for a long time, and that's really bad when a car is parked for a long time, because even if you fix whatever you have to fix, you start to use the motorhome, and in time you will see that things will fail, because you put it in movement, kind of. The parts start to move a lot more, and if they stay for a long time and you don't move the motorhome, then that's not good. So all of these mechanical problems, it will cost us 1,000 or 2,000 euros to fix. Keep that in mind. We kind of expected this for an old motorhome, but what we did not expect was the other side of the motorhome, the home. When the guy looked under the motorhome, because I didn't expect it that much to look under, he saw this, and this is rotten wood. Basically the entire floor in the back was destroyed, because when they had the water infiltration, probably the water went to the floor, and then it destroyed that wood there. And the water tanks are attached to that wood, so it's dangerous. This is absolutely terrible. There is no way we can buy a motorhome in this state. If it was only for the mechanical issues, then we could maybe buy the motorhome, but now absolutely no way to buy this motorhome. And he didn't even inspect the back wall or the walls of the motorhome or the roof, what if they were in the same state, because the owners said that they didn't have a bike rack in the back of the motorhome because it was not maybe stable, since they had the water infiltrations. And I'm thinking maybe that back wall was completely fucked up, so you cannot even put a bike rack, so it's terrible. We contacted the owners in a very nice way. We explained everything, and they were not as nice anymore. You know, we talked to the woman who is the owner of the motorhome, and I didn't like the way that she dealt with these things. She started to say things like, "Oh, the floor there is just aesthetical. It doesn't has nothing to do with the integrity of the motorhome." And like, come on, look at the photos. And the mechanic said specifically that this is dangerous. You cannot drive this motorhome in this state. It will cost us thousands of euros to fix the water infiltration issues, maybe even more. So the owner was not that nice about this, and she said, "Oh, you guys, you want everything to be perfect and new, and I don't like this emotional nonsense things." But it's understandable in this trade-based society where everyone has to trade, you have to make money and so forth. So anyway, she was very happy to tell us from the get-go that we should just search for something else. Even though we proposed, we said, if you fix all of the water infiltration issues, like change the wood wherever it's rotten and rust, fix it, we will be able to buy the motorhome and fix the mechanical issues. But she was not interested in that, so that's gone. No more perfect motorhome for now, and we are starting from kind of scratch. We found more motorhomes. We are going to see them one tomorrow, and this next week maybe more. They are going to be a lot more expensive, a few thousands of euros more expensive. This one was 18,000 euros. The ones we look at, they will be like 22, 23, maybe 24,000 euros. And of course we don't have the money for that, but we were thinking maybe it's worth to borrow some money and give them in a year or 2 or 3 if someone will help us, family and so forth. So because maybe it's worth it to buy a good motorhome, newer one, better one that had no water infiltrations, and it's better to do that, I think, than buy this motorhome or other motorhomes that are super cheap but they're kind of in a terrible shape. Yeah, well, I was extremely depressed these days because I planned so much. I was so ready for us to just buy this motorhome and start to work on the motorhome and do things for the motorhome and just live in the motorhome. We have to move from this house in a month and a half. So when I saw the extent of the problems this motorhome has, I was so depressed. I still am. I'm trying to keep calm and search for a motorhome and see what we can do. Anyway, I'll leave that GoFundMe campaign on because now we definitely need more money. I don't think we will get any money from there. I think we had another donation, thank you, for like 25 euros or so. I really appreciate that. And then eventually to make the Trump home a thing, to keep my motivation going, and I cannot wait to move into this motorhome and do other things. The motorhome life will be a secondary thing for me. The main thing, I want to focus on creating new things for Trom and overall to make some videos and write some books and do other things. We'll see.